to know who is on the podium here. From the left is Commissioner Peter Emorut. Next to him is Commissioner Honorable Anthony Okero. Next to him is Commissioner Dr. Simba Kayunga Sali. Next to him is the Deputy Chairperson Hajat Aisha Rubega. Next to him is the face that you've seen and you are continuing to see, the Justice BYABAKAMA Simon, the Chairperson of the Electoral Commission. And next to him is Commissioner Honorable Stephen Tashobia. And next to him is Commissioner Caroline Bright Binamario. And next to her is Mr. Kamshababo Richard, the Acting Secretary of the Commission. You're welcome here, Commission. Your Excellencies, heads of missions that are observing these elections, the agents of presidential candidates participating in this presidential election, representatives of political parties, representatives of the observer missions that are observing these elections, both international and local, members of the civil society, members of the media, the staff of the Electoral Commission, all invited guests here, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to this afternoon session at the National Tally Center for the presidential elections of 2026. And without much ado, I will hand over to the Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Justice BYABAKAMA Mugenyi Simon, to constitute us and guide us accordingly. Thank you very much, Lord Chair.
Our distinguished guests, maybe allow me to take special recognition of His Excellency Jonathan Goodluck, the former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is in our midst. He's the head of the African Union Observer Mission to the Uganda General Elections 2026. Your Excellencies, ambassadors, heads of missions, and all distinguished heads of the various observer missions who are here with us, ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to be gathered here this afternoon once again to give you an update or a brief on the current status of the presidential elections results that we have obtained so far from various parts of the country. The first session was yesterday at 9 p.m. Today, 9 a.m., we had the second update. Now, this is the third one. Not final one, but the third one. The total number of registered voters on the National Voters Register are 21,649,067. The total number of polling stations where the Ugandans went to cast their votes yesterday are 50,739. the total number of polling stations whose results we have received so far here at the National Tally Center are 30,138, constituting 59.4% of the total number of polling stations. This is the candidate's performance as of this hour. Bulira Frank Kavinga, 29,713, constituting 0.44% of the valid votes cast for the candidates. Kasavante Robert, 20,626, constituting 0.30% of the valid votes cast. Kyagulanyi Sentamu Robert, 1,414,619, constituting 20.71% of the total votes cast. Mabirizi Joseph, 14,106, constituting 0.21% of the valid votes cast. Mugisha Gregory Muntu Oyera, 38,582, constituting 0.56% of the valid votes cast. Munyagwa Mubarak Serunga, 19,034, constituting 0.28% of the valid votes cast. Nandala Mafavi James Nathan, 144,564, constituting 2.12% of the total votes cast. Yoweri Tuhaburwa Kaguta Museveni, 5,148,845,000, constituting 75.38 valid votes cast. The valid votes altogether for all the candidates so far are 6,830,089. 60,830,089. Invalid votes 170,655, constituting 2.44% of the total votes cast. The total votes altogether, valid, are 7,744, constituting 32.34% of the registered voters. Spoiled votes, 22,356. Now, this is the summary of the total votes per candidate so far. But now we are going to make a presentation of the breakdown of this summary on our screen. Technical, can you come and take through our guests on the breakdown of this data, of the votes, or what the results I have read to our guests this afternoon? Thank you for listening to me.
The Chair, Electoral Commission, the Commissioners, our delegates, distinguished guests and the press, good afternoon. Today I'll be presenting the election results visualization system that we normally call ERVS in short. And this ERVS is the one which helps us visualize results right from the national level up to the polling station, so that at the end of the day, a Ugandan or people in this room utilizing these 4 screens in the room, we are able to see the results that finally aggregate to what the chair of the Electoral Commission Uganda is reading as provisional results. When you interact with this system, the landing page, which we call the dashboard, has a geographical representation of the votes where they're coming from. We have a breakdown that lists candidates depending on the leading candidate by percentage in terms of votes that they received. We have at a glance dashboard that is at the end that is able to display results right from the national level up to the region. So it will allow me to interpret for you the electoral map. As you see on the map, the colors that come up, whether it is yellow or red, this shows the different districts where we received results from the district tally centers, but we show the leading candidate at that specific district tally center that is leading in terms of the number of polling stations that have submitted the results. So that's how you end up seeing at the moment blue and red. The white there, these are water bodies. They're water bodies, and we chose white because it's neutral, as blue, which is normally utilized for visualization of water bodies, is one color for one of our candidates. The middle screen, where we see, for example, the percentages, the highest being 76.38, would display the candidate who's leading at that point. And that is what the Lord Chair has been reading out. And when we go to the region, at the moment we are displaying the Uganda region, you look at the voter turnout. And here, it has changed to Kampala City region, but here we look at the registered voters in that specific region, and we see how many turned out, and we're able to calculate a percentage. If you see there, the percentage is 2%, and we're also able to calculate the number of valid votes, meaning that the difference are the invalid votes. We also look at the polling stations that are reporting. We start by indicating the number of polling stations, for example, in that region, and how many have we received results from. And the last visualization card is for specific candidates, presidential candidates in that specific region, where we indicate the candidate, what the percentage they get in terms of votes and their symbol. Allow me to drill down to, you could go, allow me to drill down. We have a section where we go to the electoral map, which allows users, for example, those on laptops in this room, to drill down to the different polling stations or districts. But for purposes of this specific presentation, we shall choose Lango. You can choose Lango region, but any other region you'd be able to visualize. So in Lango, okay, if you could hover, you've chosen Otuge. Could you go back so that we're able to see Lango as region? So it's okay. Within Lango, it will zoom, and we shall look at the different districts within Lango, but you could hover over Dokolo, for example. Okay. Show names, yes. So you'll be able to see the different ones. So if you are to hover, for example, on Dokolo, okay, so we can be able to see the performance of a candidate in that specific district. And when you look at this card at the moment, you're able to see that Dokolo has 2 constituencies, and you're also able to see the number of polling stations in that specific district, and also to know that how many of these polling stations have reported. It's the same summary, but it's broken down now at district in terms of registered voters, how many were valid votes, and also we show the trend, the performance of the candidate in that specific district, and you're able to interact in this same manner for the rest of the districts. You could For this purpose, we shall demonstrate up to the polling station for you to be able to understand that the results that are declared at different intervals are a summation of what we get from the different polling stations. So Dokolo, you could go down to, you could choose North, one constituency. So the maps are very interactive. You just, at one click, you're able to go. So could you go down up to the sub-county in Dokolo? Constituency, North, you could choose North. And then, so you're able to look at the number of the yellow ones or the colored ones are the ones which have polling stations that have submitted results. When you see the ones which are grayed out or white at this point, it means that in those different sub-counties, no polling station so far has submitted results. So when you look at this, at least maybe choose Adok. Adok is one of the parishes within Adok sub-county, and we are going to look at the results at least of one polling station. And within Adok as a parish, we see that it has 5 polling stations. So you're able to look at the breakdown in terms of polling station level, where we aggregate results from that level up to the national level. So taking an example of Odea Primary School B, at least we're able to see that we have 692 registered voters, and we had 365 valid voters with 384 voter turnout. 365 made were able to have valid votes, and then the invalid were 19. But even at this level of a polling station, at least we are able to visualize a candidate who is leading, or the breakdown in terms of number of votes, which we visualize as vote count. But we are also able to look at the percentage that a specific candidate was able to receive. And you can do this for your area of interest, for your polling station of interest, and you're able to navigate across the entire country in this specific manner. So that being said, that brings me to the end of this specific presentation of how we visualize our results right from the polling station level up to the national level, utilizing the election results visualization system. Thank you so much, and Chair, back to you. Thank you.